And welcome back. If you haven't been here before, we're going to go look at the monster tanks. This is all private, so this is not the shop. Yes, let's go check out what the monster tanks are doing. Woof, Benji. And welcome back to early Sunday morning. I am updating the monster fish tank. It's technically two tanks connected, but it is 18 foot of fish tank by 4 foot front to back. So it is a little bit bigger than it looks. Probably looks big, I don't know. I did post on a forum it was 75 gallons and they kind of believed me. Hey Benji. Benji just went past. But it is not staying this crowded. I do have a whole lot of 4 foot by 3 foot tanks coming down here. So there's 6 of those. They're all going to be connected up onto my over 1,000 litre sump there in the next week or so. There goes Benji again. But I'm going to quick update on what fish are in here. There are lots of fish in here. There are a lot of Oscars, so they're a decent sized Oscar. So they're adults, maybe a foot long, 12 inches, around that sort of size. We have lots of Kilberry peacock bass. I think there's a mono peacock bass or 2 in here. I do have lots of other peacock bass in some other tanks as well. There's a couple of giant gouramis. They're not full grown. They're maybe half size, so maybe 1.5 foot or so. Some big salmon-tailed catfish from the Northern Territory. So I think these are a different subspecies than the salmon-tailed cats in the Brisbane area or on the sort of east coast. They don't seem to get as big. So these ones are cruising around at maybe that 1.5 foot. They wouldn't be 2 foot. They'd be close to 2 foot. There are some albino plecos at the back, so albino gibbiceps. There's another normal gibbiceps right at the back you can't really see. There are a couple of dovey cichlids or your wolf cichlids, so that is a big male there. He's just over 1 foot long. There is a female in here somewhere. I'm not too sure where she is. What are you doing, Benji? Benji's going nuts. There are some Hemianthus albino catfish. I've got 7 in here. I did have 8, but in the bigger pool, one of them annoyed the stingray, not this male stingray, but a big female stingray, and got stabbed. And that was the end of that. Obviously, stingrays have a venomous barb to the tail, so you can probably see the barb there on his tail. So I don't cut the barbs. They're not really an issue. Stingrays are predatory, but they're not really going to wipe out a fish that big. It's only when the silly catfish annoy the stingray is going to go stab. And I think this male here has got a stab wound. So if you can see that little mark there, that is actually a stingray barb stab wound, but he survived that. He is not the dominant male. I'm pretty sure that there or that one over there is the dominant male. There's a female, she's filled with eggs, but I don't think you can trigger them to spawn like this. So, and if she does lay eggs, I'm pretty sure they look after their eggs. They're not going to survive in this tank. So we're not even going to look at breeding them at the moment, because yeah, it's in the too hard basket because of time restraints. Anyway, we have some redfin cigar sharks. I did have 5 of them, but I'm down to 2. The silly things jumped, went through my mesh. They are a pretty big fish. That's back in the tank as well. So maybe the big one's close on at least 2 foot, so about 60 centimeters way back there. Come on, you're gonna come to the front? Come on. He's not gonna come to the front. Well, that's a she anyway. Did sort of stuff her mouth up a little bit because they don't go well in glass tanks. So may go back into one of the pools eventually. Lots of tiger Oscars. I think there's a few flower horns. That little dude there. I am not too sure how that flower horn's surviving with the bigger fish, but it is. There are, what else have we got? There's the female dovey. There is a few other cool fish in there, like stripey dude way at the back. I don't know if we can see the dat. No, I'm zooming. There's a dapnoid and back. All the Oscars are everywhere. I might put some food in. Let me just pause it. And I have a handful of 10mm pellets. Oh, there's a mess. So obviously they get fed a lot more than that, but at least that will attract them over. There is a Saratoga as well. So Mr. Saratoga. Lots of Oscars. I think only the tiger Oscars and one of the red Oscars. So people that know me from the shop, a couple of these are the babies that were born in the shop about a year or so ago. They don't take very long to get big, so that is adult size now. The other red Oscar was the other baby that we kept from the shop. Yep, sorry fish. But I think that is probably about it. Oh, there's some Trimax, so super aggressive American cichlids, or Central American. They get pretty big. Unfortunately, the reflections are really annoying, so I may film the next one at night. This is the other 9-footer, so I've got smaller Saratoga. I may find another home for that Saratoga and replace them with an arowana, just a silver. There are a couple of weird Oscars, so these are supposed to have solid red to them, but they are not that solid red. They're still nice. There's someone's rescue Oscar. If you're watching this, you'll know who you are. There are a lot of tinfoil barbs, so I think there's some albino tinfoil barbs. These little guys here are my tarpon, taking a long time to grow. There are a few bigger lungfish in here, so these are Australian lungfish. You can keep them with microchips, so they're all microchipped, certificates for them. Little female black belt, not too sure why she's in here. There are, what else have we got? In the pipes, and you cannot see it, there are a couple of 25-year-old catfish. So yeah, can't even see them at the moment. But over there, the bass that have gone, didn't see those bass. So more peacock bass growing up. And I think that's probably about it. So not much in this tank. I am going to maybe move most of these into some smaller tanks, like the 4x3s. So then I can put some bigger fish in here. But anyway, we will go to this 6-foot by 3x3 tank because I've got a few fish breeding in there. These tanks are at home, so none of these fish are for sale. I'm sorry, but if you do see fish you like, I can probably order them in. But just quickly, my Jimbio geophagus, so that is the girl there. She is carrying a mouthful of babies. So they're just eggs, they were only laid yesterday. But yay, finally got those ones breeding. They are a cool little fish. They will live cold and tropical. So where is the male? There's the male there underneath that other geophagus. There he is. So little humpy. So that is Proud Dad. And wherever Mum went, we've lost her now. There she is. She has the eggs in her mouth. So yay, finally breeding these again. I always wanted to breed them. Never really bred them. Yeah, but they are breeding now. So I'm gonna give her about a week or two before they start sort of wiggling in her mouth, and then she'll start releasing them. So super excited. Very cool fish. They can even survive down to like about 3 or 4 degrees. So they're one of the few cichlids we can get in Australia that will technically be cold water where I live. Obviously in this tank it's tropical at the moment with the angels and the other Longmanus in that. So that is a Cyclosoma Longmanus. I think they changed from Cyclosoma to something else. But anyway, if you did like this video, click the thumbs up and stuff. And yeah, we will see you in the next video. What are you doing? What are you doing, little Benji? Oh, yes. Also, we have started breeding fish. Look at that. You gonna look at that, Benji? Benji? Really? Okay, behind Benji's tail, we've got some baby fish. Anyway, we will see you in the next video. There will be an update about baby fish and dogtails.